You know, in a really complex criminal investigation, sometimes the single most important witness isn't a person at all. It's that little device that we all carry around in our pockets. Today, we're going to look at how one smartphone can hold every secret needed to unlock a murder case. Now, this is not from some TV show. This is a real message, pulled from a real suspect's phone by forensic examiners. It's a raw, undeniable confession. And what's even more telling, the message that came right after it said, "Delete that." This just shows you how high the stakes get when investigators finally get their hands on one of these devices. Think about it. A modern smartphone has a whole universe of data inside. So when an investigator has a locked phone and the clock is ticking, how do they even start to navigate that digital maze to find the truth? Well, it's a forensic mystery that starts by just scratching the surface. The very first step in any digital investigation is to go after the low-hanging fruit, the evidence that's right there in plain sight. We're talking about the kind of information that your eye would access on our phones every single day. This stuff is called logical data. It's simple. If you can just swipe through your phone and see it, a contact, a photo in your gallery, a text message thread, that's logical data. It's all the information the phone's interface is designed to show you. So, logical data is always the starting line for investigators because it's fast and it's easy to understand. It can tell a story all on its own without needing some complex decoding. For forensic tools, pulling this data is one of their main jobs. It's a true what you see is what you get situation. But, as we all know, the most incriminating evidence is almost never left out in the open. To find the real secrets, the stuff a suspect actually tried to get rid of, investigators have to go way, way deeper than just the surface level. This is the million-dollar question in digital forensics, isn't it? We saw that delete that instruction earlier. When a user hits that delete button, does that digital breadcrumb just vanish into thin air? Well, the truth is, it really all depends on where you look. And the answer lies in what's called physical data. Now, this isn't what you see on your screen. This is the raw code, the ones and zeros that are the foundation of everything on your phone. And this includes all the little fragments and remnants of files that have been deleted and are no longer visible to you. Okay, here's a really great way to think about this. Logical data is like a lit light bulb. You see the light, it's simple, you get it. But physical data, that's what's inside the bulb. The wires, the gas, the filament, the power, it's the complex machinery that actually makes the light work. And you need an expert to really understand what's going on. And this right here shows you the difference perfectly. On the left, that's the logical view. A forensic tool pulls two simple messages. But look at the right. By digging into that raw physical data, the examiner uncovers a hidden conversation, including that critical instruction, delete that. I mean, this is the kind of discovery that can just break a case wide open. But the phone itself is only half the story. To really get the full picture, investigators need to know how that device connected to the outside world, and, really importantly, who was paying for it. This is what we call the network trail. Not all cell service is created equal. First, you have your mobile network operators, or MNOs. These are the big guys like AT&T and Verizon that actually own all the physical cell towers. But then you have mobile virtual network operators, MVNOs, like TracFone. They don't own any towers. They just buy airtime from the big guys and resell it. And knowing which is absolutely crucial when you're serving a warrant. Think a pay-as-you-go burner phone is untraceable? Think again. In this real triple homicide case, investigators traced a TracFone, that's an MVNO, to the exact store where it was purchased. And get this. The store's video surveillance not only showed the three murder suspects buying that phone with cash, but also buying bleach and mops at the exact same time. The network trail led them right to some seriously incriminating evidence. So how do they actually do it? Well, it's a really methodical process. They might start with a free online service for a quick lead, but they have to be super careful because people can port their number, right? You keep the same digits but switch companies. So then they use legal resources to find the carrier's official contact info. And then, the final, most critical step, they call a live person to confirm everything before that search warrant goes out the door. Okay, so we've looked at the phone's memory, we've looked at its network, but there's this one tiny piece of hardware that often gets overlooked, and it has a fascinating story all its own. I'm talking about the SIM card. You know, a SIM card isn't just a little piece of plastic, it's actually a self-contained microcomputer. Seriously, it has its own processor, it has different kinds of memory, like RAM and ROM, and it even has its own operating system. It's actively working all the time to store key data and talk to the network. And just like all computers, they've gotten smaller and smaller over time. I mean, from the original credit card-sized version to the tiny little nano SIMs we all use today, the technology has evolved, but that core function, carrying unique identifiers, has stayed the same. So, the first of these identifiers is the ICSID. The best way to think of this is like the SIM card's permanent serial number, kind of like the VIN on a car. It's a 20-digit number that's burned in by the manufacturer and it can never be changed. It uniquely identifies that specific piece of plastic anywhere in the world. The second key identifier is the IMSI. So if the ICCID identifies the card itself, the IMSI identifies the account. This 15-digit number is all about who is paying the bill. It's the thing that links that physical SIM card to a specific customer and their service plan. And this is just incredible. The SIM card itself can store location data. A file called the LOCI holds information on the very last cell tower the phone was talking to before it was turned off. For an investigator who's looking for a suspect on the run, this last known location can be an absolutely vital clue.
And yes, just like the phone's main memory, the SIM card can hold on to deleted messages. You can see here a forensic tool has pulled SMS messages directly from the SIM. And notice the status flags: in for inbox and del for deleted. So even after a user thinks a message is gone, the evidence can still be sitting right there, just waiting to be found.
So when you start putting all these different pieces together, from the easy-to-see messages to the deep binary code, from the network records to the SIM card's unique IDs, what you get is a complete digital fingerprint. It's really this powerful, multi-layered way of finding the truth. You start with the logical data, right? That's the obvious story. Then you dig into the physical data to find the hidden narrative. You follow the network data to connect the phone to the real world. And finally, you use the SIM data to tie that device and all of its secrets directly to a person. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Every single action we take on our devices leaves some kind of a trace, a digital echo. We've seen how all these echoes can be pieced together to solve the most serious crimes imaginable. And it leaves us with one last thought. If the device that's in your hand or in your pocket right now could tell your story, what would it say?